While the world watches, panicked politicians argue over Red Sea blockades and European winter energy shortages. They are tracking the exact wrong metrics on the map. Look down. Anchored off Alexandroupolis, a massive 300-meter steel machine is violently swallowing liquid natural gas at minus 162 degrees Celsius right now. It is not a standard ship. It is a floating cryogenic toll booth, quietly printing billions of dollars for the Greek elite, completely insulated from any global crisis. Let's do the math. Do you honestly believe your upcoming winter heating bill is strictly dictated by the pure illusion of free market supply and demand? Or is it mercilessly manipulated by the operators controlling these massive concrete valves and high-pressure subsea pipelines? Let me know your exact thoughts down in the comments. Welcome to Energy Axis Intel, where we ignore the political theater and analyze the concrete. Let's look at the physical reality of the situation. Look. Everyone is talking about the politics. The treaties, the NATO agreements, the endless diplomacy. But they are completely missing the massive plumbing underneath. Wait a minute. Geopolitics is just paper. True power is thermodynamics. It's the physical ability to violently compress and transport energy across continents. Greece didn't become a security anchor through polite handshakes or summit. They built a massive mechanical choke point that no one can bypass. Whoever controls the massive steel valves controls the exact flow of capital. Let me show you how this cryogenic toll booth actually works and who is paying. The political class in Brussels sold the public a very simple, comforting story about European energy independence after the pipelines were completely shut down. They stood at podiums and promised that replacing thousands of miles of high-pressure Russian gas pipelines was just a minor logistical pivot. The illusion was incredibly naive. Just ship liquid natural gas from the United States, dock it at European ports, and keep the heaters running. Wait a minute. It sounds so easy on paper. Like ordering a simple package online and waiting for a massive cargo ship to arrive. But let's look at the physical reality. You cannot just pump volatile gas into a standard steel freighter and sail it across the Atlantic. Gas is not a polite commodity. Its natural state is pure chaos. It expands rapidly, requires massive volume, and destroys standard shipping containers immediately. The mainstream media completely ignored the brutal laws of thermodynamic. They painted a nice picture of infinite supply ships forming a simple conveyor belt. But a subsea pipeline is a continuous, unbroken physical flow. A ship is a fragmented, extremely expensive batch process at the ocean's absolute mercy. To match the pure volume of just one subsea pipeline, you need a relentless armada of specialized, multi-billion-dollar maritime machines running non-stop every day. And the European Union simply did not have the mechanical receiving infrastructure. No concrete docking stations. No deep water terminals. No way to absorb it. They built a total financial fantasy on a foundation of extreme logistical ignorance, which left the door wide open for the real infrastructure predator. Let's look at the physical reality of the Alexandroupolis FSRU. It is a 300-meter floating thermodynamics laboratory anchored in the heavy Aegean Sea. To move natural gas across the ocean, you have to violently break its physical structure. You must crush it down to minus 162 degrees Celsius. At that extreme temperature, it shrinks by 600 times. It is no longer a gas. It becomes a dense, highly volatile, and deadly cryogenic liquid. It is held inside colossal membrane tanks lined with invar, a specialized nickel iron alloy designed specifically to survive massive thermal shock without shattering. Wait a minute. When this frozen liquid arrives in Greece, you cannot just pump it into a pipe. The steel would freeze, become completely brittle, and violently shatter. So, the machine actively breathes the ocean. The FSRU sucks in millions of gallons of ambient Mediterranean seawater through massive intake valves under the hull. It runs this warmer seawater through complex titanium heat exchanger. The raw thermal energy of the ocean is violently transferred to the minus 162 degree liquid. Inside the pipes, the cryogenic fluid boils aggressively. It expands massively and violently flashes back into a high-pressure gaseous state right inside the hull. Let's do the math. You are fighting thermodynamics on a colossal scale, relying on the ocean's heat to prevent an absolute mechanical catastrophe. Once regasified, massive mechanical compressors kick in. These heavy industrial turbines scream as they forcefully ram the expanding gas into the IGB subsea pipeline. We are talking about operating pressures exceeding 100 bar. That is heavy pressure constantly trying to rip the thick subsea steel completely apart. The gas is violently pushed down into the dark seabed, traveling hundreds of kilometers across deep trenches to feed the entire Balkan Peninsula. It is a non-stop, terrifying battle against the brutal laws of physics. The ocean, the extreme cold, the extreme pressure, all trying to destroy the machine. But as long as the invar holds, and the massive turbines keep spinning, the gas flows. And more importantly, the heavy toll fees are collected. Politicians don't keep the lights on in Eastern Europe. The engineers manning this massive cryogenic beast do. That is the true architecture of power. Let's look at the financial reality of this cryogenic beast. Who actually paid the colossal capital expenditure to anchor this steel machine into the seabed? You might assume the private Greek energy syndicates fronted the billions required to build the underwater pipelines and massive concrete docking pillars. Wait a minute. Let's do the math on the actual funding structure. Building a deep-water heavy infrastructure project is a terrifying financial risk for any corporation. So, they didn't use their own money. The European Union stepped in with massive public aid funds, essentially using taxpayer euros to pour the concrete foundation. The citizens of Europe financed the immense physical risk. They paid for the deep-sea welding, the expensive titanium heat exchangers, and the heavy maritime engineering. The public absorbed the initial CAPEX trap. But here is the brutal mechanical genius of the floating toll booth model. The public does not own the valve. The actual toll collection mechanism, the physical choke point where the gas enters the continental pipeline grid, is operated by private Greek energy consortiums and shipping oligarchs. They hold the exclusive mechanical rights to process the cryogenic liquid. Every single time that massive turbine rams high-pressure gas into the subsea steel pipe network, a digital toll fee is automatically generated. The public paid to build the highway, but the private syndicates own the heavy steel toll gate attached. This is the ultimate infrastructure arbitrage. You completely socialize the immense capital expenditure of building massive concrete and steel structures in hostile ocean environments. And then you fiercely privatize the continuous operational cash flow. The Greek maritime elite do not have to worry about the massive debt of building the facility. Let's look at the physical reality again. The FSRU is not just a regasification machine. It is an armored, highly efficient financial extraction engine. It literally converts public panic over energy security into a guaranteed, long-term private cash flow, locked in by unbreakable, multi-decade mechanical processing contracts. As long as the physical gas physically flows through those massive pressure valves, the toll fees are aggressively extracted, completely regardless of the global market price. The steel pipeline does not care about your political treaty. It only registers the immense physical pressure and the continuous financial toll exacted at the choke point. Let's look at the physical reality of keeping this machine alive. Building it was just the initial trap. The real financial slaughter is the operational expenditure. You are fighting a relentless war against nature every single second. Maintaining minus 162 degrees Celsius in the middle of a brutal Mediterranean summer. Wait a minute. Think about the colossal energy required just to power the onboard cryogenic cooling systems. The FSRU is constantly burning fuel to fight the sun. If the cooling compressors stop for even an hour, the thermodynamic balance shatters. The liquid expands violently, and the entire multi-billion-dollar steel structure risks catastrophic rupture. Then there is the salt. The Aegean Sea is highly corrosive. It violently eats away at raw steel. To prevent the massive hull from completely rusting out, the engineers must continuously pump expensive anti-corrosion chemicals and maintain massive electrical cathodic protection grids across the entire submerged metallic surface. It is a constant financial bleed. Let's do the math on security. A floating gas bomb the size of 3 football fields is the ultimate geopolitical target. It cannot defend itself alone. You need an active military perimeter. Armored naval frigates, heavily armed patrol boats, and advanced subsea acoustic sensors operating 24/7 just to protect the concrete valves. Who pays for this massive daily fuel burn, the military-grade security, and the endless chemical injections? It is directly baked into the relentless physical toll fee. The operational bleed is astronomical. But the syndicates do not care. They just pass the extreme cost of fighting nature directly down the heavy steel pipeline. Every drop of anti-corrosive chemical, every gallon of naval diesel, is quietly added to the final price tag of the gas flowing into the European grid. Let's bring this massive physical infrastructure directly into your living room. Let's do the math on your daily reality. Every time you touch your thermostat in Bulgaria, Romania, or Hungary this winter, you are triggering a massive chain reaction. You are not just buying ambient heat. You are actively paying for the extreme physical friction of the Alexandroupolis machine. You are paying for the heavy diesel burned by the armed naval frigates patrolling the dark Aegean Sea. You are paying for the expensive titanium anti-corrosion chemicals injected into the rusting steel hull. The machine never stops bleeding money, and it is aggressively rotting that massive operational cost directly into your monthly utility bill. Wait a minute. You thought inflation was just a random economic cycle. Look at the concrete. It is a direct mechanical transfer of wealth. When that colossal turbine screams and rams high-pressure gas into the subsea pipe, an invisible financial vacuum activates. It extracts hard currency from millions of working-class wallets across Eastern Europe and forcefully funnels it right back down to the Greek coastline. The syndicates owning the heavy steel valves take their cut first. They do not care if your factory shuts down or if your groceries double in price. The machine demands its immense physical toll fee before the gas is allowed to cross the dark territorial border. You are entirely locked out of the profit cycle, yet completely trapped inside the relentless physical expense cycle. The heavy infrastructure physically dictates your exact net worth. The colder the winter gets, the harder the massive steel pumps work, and the faster your personal savings are violently vaporized into the atmosphere. Let's look at the physical reality of how you actually survive this wealth extraction. You need to understand who the true apex predators are. The real winners are the Greek shipping oligarchs and the midstream energy syndicates. They never gamble their capital on finding new natural gas. Drilling for gas is a brutal, high-risk game. Instead, they position their heavy steel right in the middle. They own the unpassable physical border. Wait a minute. What is their actual mechanical weapon? It is the absolute genius of the take-or-pay capacity contract locked directly into the physical valve. Entire nations rent the regasification power of this massive machine for 20 years. It does not matter if European winters get warm and gas stops. Even if not a single drop of liquid gas physically touches the steel intake pipes, the Greek syndicates still collect 100% of their money. Let's do the math. They transformed a volatile commodity market into a fixed concrete toll booth. The steel machine prints money regardless of global supply. So how do you apply this brutal mechanical reality to your own personal wallet? You must completely stop gambling on upstream exploration and volatile resources. Stop buying stocks in companies that physically drill holes in the ground hoping to strike gas. Their profit margins are destroyed by macro market panic. You need to pivot your capital directly into the concrete. Look for midstream infrastructure ETFs. You want companies that physically own the massive steel pipelines. You want the syndicates that control the colossal deep water storage tanks and the unpassable heavy import terminals. The commodity price will violently crash and burn. But the physical toll fee required to push the gas through the heavy steel compressor turbine will never drop. Invest in the immovable concrete choke point. Do not invest in the gas. Invest in the heavy mechanical friction required to. That is how the elite actually protect their wealth. Let's look at the physical reality one more time. The global energy map is constantly rewritten, but massive concrete foundations take decades to physically pour. When you own the physical bridge between continents, you dictate the financial terms of survival. Stop trading the news and start analyzing the heavy plumbing. Let's look at the physical reality of global power one last time. Geography is completely irrelevant. It is just empty scratch paper waiting to be overwritten. Drawing arbitrary lines on a political map means absolutely nothing if you cannot physically control the thermodynamics and the mechanical pressure within those borders. The nation that successfully casts millions of tons of armored concrete right across a major commercial choke point ultimately holds the absolute power of life and death. Wait a minute. It is never about who has the loudest politicians or the most aggressive diplomat. It is strictly about who owns the physical steel valves. If you can violently compress, transport, and regasify the lifeblood of an entire continent, you do not need to negotiate. You dictate the exact terms of survival. The Greek elite understood this brutal mechanical reality perfectly. They bypassed the political theater and quietly built an immovable cryogenic fortress in the dark Aegean Sea. They proved that whoever controls the heavy industrial plumbing inevitably controls the vast majority of the wealth. That is the true, unforgiving nature of the energy axis. Let's do the math on ultimate leverage. If you had $10 billion in capital to completely dominate a neighboring nation, what is your move? Would you waste that massive capital building a conventional military force, fighting endless border skirmishes, and dealing with the inevitable international political fallout? Or would you be smart? Would you quietly purchase the absolute physical monopoly over their only deep-water liquid natural gas import terminal? Who holds the real power? The military general with the tanks, or the quiet engineer controlling the massive cryogenic valve keeping their citizens from freezing? Tell me exactly how you would spend that $10 billion to secure ultimate leverage. Drop your brutal infrastructure strategies down in the comments below. Until next time, completely ignore the political theater. Focus entirely on the heavy steel, the thick concrete foundations, and the relentless mechanical cash flow. This is Energy Axis Intel signing off. Keep your mind open, stay curious, and I will see you in the next one.